All right. A few days ago, I made a video of my 16 L5R decks that I had created over the years of playing this game casually back in the 90s, maybe early 2000s. For 5, 10 years, we played it casually, something like that. And over time, I collected lots of cards, and so tried to build a deck for every clan. I didn't get all of them, but I got a lot of them. And I've already showed my Shadowlands deck, which was not in those 16 decks. So I actually have 17 decks. I already made a video for that. The next one I was going to do was my Phoenix deck, this one, which I showed in the video. I was going to do that one next. A couple people. Let me say that again. I was planning on doing this one next if there was any interest. A couple people on Facebook where I shared this, and some L5R pages, a couple of the pages, said, "Sure, go ahead and make some deck text. We'd love to see it." And finally, somebody commented on that video. So thank you for leaving a comment. Asked me if I'd make a deck tech of either one of the two Naga decks that I had or the Unicorn deck, because those were his first two clans that he played. I'm assuming you're a guy. I apologize if you're a girl. So since somebody asked, I'm going to go ahead and make my deck tech for my Unicorn deck. I'm not going to get into the rules too much. I'll try not to get into it too much because if you want to learn the rules, go watch an L5R video how to play. I'll try to put one in the link. I'll try to put one in the description. I put them in the description of my 16 decks of how to play, along with an amazing video that deals with the history of this game. Highly recommend you all check that out if you haven't seen it. It's got over 400,000 views, and it was made like 5 years ago, I think, or something like that. Maybe it was longer. But anyway, this is the Unicorn. Love the color. Unicorn's strength is they are almost all cavalry units, and so they can run around the infantry units. This game, you attack with infantry and cavalry, and you assign the infantry first. So that was the strength of the Unicorn. And every clan has their strength, their uniqueness. They even have unique names. Otaku is, I'm pretty sure I'm right about this, is Unicorn. None of the other clans will say Otaku. And Otaku is just one. There's Shinjo, different names for the different clans. So these are the personalities. In addition to the personalities, there are going to be fortifications, holdings, which you use to generate gold to pay for your cards. Though initially with Unicorn, you can generate 5 gold, which is more than any of the other clans. They're all 3 or 4 for the most part. I think one of them was 2. Really poor gold generation. This is your province strength, 5, which is average. 6 would be, 7 would be considered good. There's one that's 11. So it's crazy. And this was your starting honor. So the Unicorn began the game with 5 honor. And you need honor to recruit personalities into play. This deck, you'll have followers, action cards, these red cards, items. You can play ancestors, which I have 1 in this deck. In this deck, there's also regions and event cards, and there's only 1 event in this deck. I'm not sure why I only put in 1. If anyone would like to recommend an event for this deck, feel free. Feel free to make any suggestions you want. But realize that this is a casual deck, so when I play casually, variety is more fun. I'm not solely focused on min-maxing to maximize the effects of this deck. We're just playing for fun. And we enjoy the different aspects of the clans, and that's why we got into this game. Because how interesting it was, unlike so many other card games. So this is the Otaku Palaces. If I didn't already say it, there's approximately 40 cards in each deck. And I'm just going to try to run through it fairly quickly. We'll start, though, with this. This is how much honor your house needs in order to recruit. I start with 5 for Unicorn. I only need 2 to recruit him. But if my honor drops below 2, if that should happen, he will not join. I cannot recruit him into my army. His gold cost is the middle number. But because he's my clan, I can recruit him for 2 less gold. But if I pay the 5, all 5, I will get this 2. This is his personal honor, and I will add that to my house honor. So my house generates 5, which is all I can generate in the beginning because I have no holdings in play. And so if I paid full price for this guy, if he comes up on turn 1, and that means he's there, you can now recruit him. And if I do for full price, now my honor jumps to 7. So now I have 7 honor. Or I can recruit him for just 3 gold if I have something else that costs 1 or 2 gold that I want to pay. So those are your things those are your options in the game. This is his force, so he's weak. He's not very good in battle. This is his chi, which is not, it's a little below average. You'd like to have it 3 or more is good. So not much, but then again, he's very low cost, and you get 2 honor if you get him, and you only need 2 honor to recruit him. So he's an easy guy to bring in. Now, he's a magistrate. Most personalities in this game, not all, most are samurai for fighting and shugenja for casting spells. Mostly that's what shugenja do. There's also dueling in this game. This is his chi. Chi represents kind of your inner strength. When you enter a duel, it is a duel based on chi, unless it says otherwise, not force. So that is why guys with high chi are really good in duels, because they tend to win and the loser dies. And then you have an ability sometimes. So not all the time. Sorry about the glare when I do that. I'm trying to keep it tipped this way to keep the glare off the card. I'll do the best I can. So I'm going to butcher some of these names. Aid Ashijan. I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's name. You can't tell me either. That's okay. I'm sure I could Google it if I needed to. So that's just one guy. We've got Moto Soro here. Big 4 force, 3 chi. But notice 8 gold I need, or 6 if I don't care about the 1 honor. So I can recruit him for 6. And he's a big powerful samurai. Very cool. And again, if it doesn't say cavalry, it's infantry. Everything's infantry unless it says, but unicorn or cavalry. Except this guy. This guy is not cavalry. So this is Otaku Baiken, 2 force 3 chi for 7, and he's a samurai. All right. Then we have, love the look of this card, Otaku Kamoko. I think I'm running 2 or 3 copies of him, just 2. And then you have an experienced version of Otaku Kamoko. So you see, this is experienced 2. I don't know where the experienced 1 is. Maybe I never had it. I put this guy in my deck, even though he's really expensive, 11 gold, but he's a 5 force 4 chi, where the non-experienced version is a 7 gold cost 3 force 2 chi, which is, fine. Unicorn are going to cost a little more because they get the cavalry trait, so already you pay a little more for these guys, usually. But this guy's big and powerful. Unicorn Clan Thunder, double chi, so in duels, the chi bonus that you get will double each time you do it. It's very interesting. Very powerful guy. And then we even have an experienced 3 version. Now, I believe you can play experienced versions over on top of the non-experienced one, or I can play this 3 on top of this 2 if I have it in play, and it doesn't cost as much. But you're just it's kind of like evolution in Pokemon. Whereas if I play them separately, I can have 2 big, powerful samurais in the game. But if I can't afford it, you get them in by laying them on top of them, and it's the experienced version. I think that's how it worked. If I'm wrong about anything, feel free to correct me. So here's Otaku Kamoko Experience 3, also double chi, and now it's a 5 force 5 chi, just a little bit bigger. Otaku Kojiro, it is very weak, 0 force 1 chi, and it costs 7. So you think that's no good. And he's a stable master. Bow to straighten any personality with the cavalry trait. That's a really good ability. But 7's a lot. So, but I can get him in. I'm already generating 5. I can get him in on turn 1, which is important. All right, we have Otaku Tetsuko, You can see the numbers. I'm not going to keep going over them. I'm overdoing this as usual. So he's cool. Shinjo Hanari, another expensive one. You really want the cheaper guys because your deck plays more efficiently if you do that. But I'm just doing this to have fun, and I like bringing in these big guys. So the heck with that. Let's just play for fun. There's a tactician. This is a very powerful ability. They can increase their force in battle one time with their tactician ability. Very, very dangerous. It's like they gotta get rid of that tactician. He's gonna be a problem. Shinju Yokatsu. This is the Unicorn Clan champion, inexperienced. That is not him. Okay. So inexperienced. I forget what the difference is between inexperienced and experienced. But he's tough guy because he's a tactician. Doesn't look all that great initially, like 11, 4, 4. That's not great, but he's a tactician, so that explains the extra cost. Here's another big samurai for your unicorn deck. Shinjo Rojin, cheap, so 1 force 2 chi, only costs 5. Has an ability. So I played the cheap guys too, and you can play up to 3 copies in your deck. So I'm running 3 of them because that just makes sense. Shinjo Sadato, another cheap one, and I don't remember if I'm playing multiples of him. No, just one. Not sure why. Don't remember. Shinjo Yasamura, this is experienced tactician. So cool card. Great. Love the art on this card. I love how these dragons come up here and grab the numbers with their mouths. The attention to the detail on these cards is just so impressive. Let me try to adjust that. And I was really saddened when they changed the look. I think I have some of the revised look of the card where they went to a generic border, which I do not like. But the cards are good, so I played them. All right, so that's all the personalities. Now we'll get into some fortifications. Every clan had their charter. You wanted their charter because it benefits you. But it's unique. You can only have one. You can only have one in your deck. But it only costs 2 gold to bring it into play. Charters are good in every... I imagine every clan ran one. Pretty sure. Then we have Shinjo Riding Stables. This is a 3 gold cost holding, which is beneficial to the Unicorn Clan. May only be put into play by Unicorn players. Some aren't restricted like that. Others can play them, but it costs more or something, or it's cheaper for the clan. I forget the reasons. So just one again because he's unique. And then we have our holdings. Our holdings generate gold. Merchant Caravan is excellent because it's free. The cost is 0. But to use it, you've got to discard a card to generate gold. So it is costly, but it's a way you can generate gold fast. So it's worth it. I'm running 2 copies in this deck. Not sure why I went with 2 and not 3. We have the Haruma Dojo, which costs 4, which my house can pay for. My house can pay for pretty much any of these cards. So 2? Yeah, 2 copies. Silkworks is basically made for Unicorn. It costs 5, which means most clans will not put this in their deck because their house cannot pay for it. My house can. I can bow to produce 4 gold. That's a lot. Most holdings produce 2 or 3. Most. There are a couple that do 4. So 3 Silkworks in the game. Now this is a risky card that I put in here. I did this to try to speed up the gold because these big personalities I can't afford. And I would often not be able to play them. The problem when you play corrupt versions of these holdings is that there's a stables and there's a corrupt stables. It's a Shadowlands card. It's free, but you lose 1 honor when brought into play. And then when you bow it to generate gold, you lose an honor to produce 1 gold, 2 if you're a Unicorn player. So do I really want to give up honor? It's risky. Is it worth doing? I'm not sure. I'm playing 2. I put 2 in the deck. And then, of course, I have 3 stables, which is just a must in your Unicorn deck. So 3 of those. Now, here's the generic border I was talking about. Don't like it, but I like builders. I don't know if builders saw Constructed Play or not, if anybody knows, feel free. I like that you can use this when you pay for your holdings that I've just been going through. They normally come into play bowed. The builders straightens them right away. So it speeds up your deck. But first you got to pay this and get this into play, and then your deck will play faster. So it's kind of like you're slowing down to speed up. So, I liked it though. I like playing with it. I'm guessing, Ayuchi Plains, is that how you pronounce it? So this is a region. Regions attached to your province, they are free, they just attach. I believe you can only have one region per province. I don't think you can attach a second one. I'm going on memory again. So one of those, and then we have this is not specifically a unicorn region, but it has to deal with cavalry followers. So normally unicorn would play Otaku Meadows, and I've got 2 of those. So only 3 regions in the deck. I could add more, and I'm sure there's some that some of you might recommend to me and say, oh, you should get this one. It was great. Unexpected Allies is cool. It can backfire on you though. They could get your opponent could get a personality and you don't. But it's neat, and this is an event. The moment it appears and you're on your when you flip it over, the cards all start face down. It just happens right away. So events are really neat aspect of this game. Then I have 2 Shinjo Parade Grounds. This is a fortification. It costs 4 gold. May only be brought into play by a unicorn player. So I've got 2, since they're not unique. And very, very cool card. The other thing I love about this deck is my sleeves. I found these sleeves in a game store somewhere and just said, okay, this is when I committed to building the unicorn deck. I'm like, I had to build this. So this is one of the first decks I built that wasn't Phoenix or Shadowlands. I forget which other ones came quick. I think I built the Crane one because I kept hearing how good Crane were for making honor decks and dueling. That was their thing, and I wanted to do that. I wanted to get into that. I have a Phoenix dueling deck and I already talked about it, the spells deck. So that's my Dynasty deck for Unicorn. And here's what I used for my Fate deck. Again, you can only run 3 copies. But we start with the Arrival of the Unicorns. Very cool. That's the gold cost to pay it. That is the focus value that you use in duels. You discard the card and you add this number to the duel, to your personality's chi. And everybody keeps doing this until somebody wants to strike. And once you strike, then whoever wins, and whoever loses dies. And I don't remember what happens in a tie. They both die, or I forget how the ties are resolved. So 3 copies of Arrival of the Unicorns. Fun card. Then we have two copies of Another Time. Neat card. I like it. Barbarian Horde. Does not sound like a unicorn card, but the word cavalry is in there. And I decided to play one copy. Komoko's Charge. That's a unicorn name. So already that's it sounds like unicorn. It doesn't say unicorn, but it does have cavalry in the word. And you have terrains and battles. If somebody wants to play a terrains are very cool in this game, the way they work. I like how this works better than the Wyvern game. I've made Wyvern videos. I like terrains in Wyvern. I really like terrains in L5R. So 3 copies of Komoko's Charge. Rallying Cry. When you end a battle, your units go home bowed because they're traveling back to your home. Rallying Cry prevents them from being bowed. They stay straightened. Can be a great card. Running 2 in this deck. Maybe I should run 3. Can be a great card. I don't know if that card saw a lot of play in Constructed, but I'm guessing it did. I really don't know. Ride Until Dawn. Another battle card. So see, most of these are free. There are ones that cost gold. I don't think there's any in this deck, but we'll see. And there's its focus value. That doesn't mean anything other than duels. So Shinjo's Breath, running 3 Shinjo's Breath. Neat card. Clearly good for Unicorn. Shinjo Technique. I think every clan had a Technique card. Now this one costs money. You got to pay 3, but it's 0 if you're Unicorn. So it's like, oh, so non-unicorn probably won't play this. And that's pretty much it. Running 2 of those. This is a great card. There was I think this is I don't think this was the original art. I think there's 2 different arts for this card. You can give a personality a +3 force and 3 chi bonus in a battle, which is great for the battle because the side with the most force wins. Where it's also good for duel. You can duel in a battle. You can also duel before a battle. It's a very, very cool thing. So I'm running 3 of these. The problem with Strike the Purity is you can only play it on a personality that has a personal honor greater than 2. So can't play it. Can't play it on him. His personal honor is 2. That's the 3rd number there. So it only works on some. Yet I ran 3 of them. You'd think I'd run less since it only works on certain personalities, but no. So here's one of those generic bordered cards. Strike at the tail. And it's 2 copies. This is a great card. Superior Tactics. It is very useful most of the time, but can only target one of your personalities with a chi of 3 or higher. So it is a little bit of a restriction to play it. So I'm running 2. And here, those are all my action cards in the deck. This is my 1 ancestor that I'm playing. Very cool card. It attaches to the personality you play it on, and then your personality gets a +1 force bonus, but no chi bonus. And then it tells you what the card does. These are very neat. Love the way these cards look. Now, these are the followers. Followers follow your personality that you attach it to, and then the personality will sometimes get a buff. In this case, that's not the case, but they are a cavalry follower, and they can bow for a range 3 attack. And that means they kill anything with any one card with a force of 3 or less. Just kill it. So Horsebowman, very cool. Running 3 of those, it just seemed right for this deck. Got some light cavalry, very cheap follower. So 2 force, you get a 1F bonus. There's a medium cavalry and there's a heavy cavalry. I don't know if I put any in this deck. No, I didn't. Pretty sure I didn't. Maybe I put a medium. I'll see. We'll see. We'll get to it. So light cavalry, just something to buff. The lieutenants are for every clan. Every clan has their lieutenant. This is Lieutenant Morito. Very cool. You get a 2 force bonus. And again, he's unique, so you can only play 1. Very neat card. I really like Scout. Scout has a really nice ability. You don't get any force or chi bonus, but the ability is good, and I'm running 2. And then every clan has a house guard, which is also cool. And of course, it's unique, but he's expensive. 8. You can't pay 6. You can't reduce the cost for him. These aren't personalities. These are followers. But you get a 3 force bonus, and you get his ability, and they are very cool, but they are expensive. These ancestral swords, there was one for every clan, and back when L5R was being played, these went for $20 to $25. And over the years, I eventually got quite not a ton of them, but I got enough. Sometimes I'd find one in an auction that had like hundreds of cards in it, and there was a sword. It was like really, really cool. So then this is the generic bordered another item. We have a unique weapon here. It's a good card. It's expensive, but so are the swords. They cost 9. It's very expensive, but because they're so powerful, everybody wanted them in their deck because they really can turn the battle. When you get that thing into play, you become a lot more powerful. Then there's a Riding Yari, which is a cheaper weapon, only costing 3. And then I've got this Spyglass, which is free for a Unicorn player. So I put one in the deck because it's free for Unicorn, so I'm going to play it. And I like it. I like what it does. Not sure if I should run 2 War Wagons, but I like War Wagon, and again, it's less for Unicorn. Cool card. It does cost 5, but it's a neat card. I like it. And in most of my decks, I decided to play Ring of the Void. Of the 5 rings, this one is probably the easiest to get into play. And when you get it into play, it really benefits you a lot. it's a little hard to get into play. I'm just going to let you read that. But Ring of the Void is just cool, and it really powers out your deck if you can get it into play. So that is my unicorn deck. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe I'll make a deck tech for some of the other stuff. If anyone wants one in specific, ask. Maybe I'll do one of the Naga decks next, or my Phoenix deck. I'll see. I'm just going to think about it. Hope you enjoyed it. If anyone lives in Chicago and would like to play some L5R, we can meet somewhere. We can get to know each other and play. It'd be fun. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.